Song from Onyeka Owenu. I'm sure that we're still going to listen to the song. If you want to download the song, you can actually look for it on your phones. The title of the song is Nigeria, Our Diversity is Our Strength. And that's the topic for this morning. Our diversity. As a nation, our diversity, is it a problem or a blessing? Okay, so the universal definition of Nigeria to someone who has never been to Nigeria before is just someone who lives within the four walls, within the boundaries of the country, is a Nigerian. And they really would not look at the color, they really would not look at whatever, because all Africans have this color. So they're not going to say this person is this person is that, but they would say that the person who lives within the boundaries of this place is a Nigerian. And so our diversity, why do I say diversity? We have over 500 ethnic groups in Nigeria, but you must note that we have only three major ethnic groups. We have the Igbo, the Hausa, and the Yoruba, but we have so many minority groups in Nigeria, and these groups are diverse in culture, in language. They have different, it's so funny that even when they speak the same language or the same dialects, there are still little things that separate them here and there. The way of life, the food they eat, the way they cook their food. So Nigerians are diverse, and Nigerians are very, very special. And interestingly, I came across something. Although the ethnic groups in Nigeria number in hundreds, it must be understood that we have this very, 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 very big thing about us. Our biggest point, our biggest, very biggest, advantage as a nation is our population. And we cannot get that population by sticking to one ethnic group. You have to consider all of them. So all of us coming together, we're powerful people. So you're looking at powerful 500 ethnic groups, bringing up about 180 billion people. So Nigeria is one of the biggest countries in the world. I actually checked the rating, but one of the biggest countries in the world, and we're expected in about 2030, between 2030 and I think 2050, we're expected to be one of the superpowers in the world if we get our things right. So we have a lot in store. So when people keep telling you Nigeria has potentials, it's a fertile ground, that is what they look at. The biggest weapon of the nation is the population of that nation. Okay, so we're looking at our diversity this morning. Is it a strength or is it a problem? And we have a guest in the studio. She's an author. I personally listened to her before. She's an author. She's a relationship consultant. She is a marriage counselor. So she talks. She knows really so much about how people should relate, how people relating, what the problem is, and how to solve it and all that. And she's a social entrepreneur. So this woman, she's a mother, and she calls herself one particular family, which I wouldn't give you. You can check out for social media to get that part. Her name is Mrs. Angela Boni, and we're so glad she's in the studio with us this morning. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Thank you, Tomisin. Thank you, Nigeria.
One of the things she complained about, she said, Tomisin, this notice is very short. And I'm like, oh, don't worry. I know you have what it takes, and it's not so much of a big deal. Okay, so straight into the conversation. We're talking about Nigeria, our diversity. And I was looking at Nigeria. We have as diverse as our nation is. Because I don't want us to, that's why I delved into that. We already have all the ethnic groups, the different food, different way of life. As diverse as our nation is, we have fusions, different kinds of joinings here and there. Because in Lagos now you have Igbo Lagosians, and all that. What is it that brings people, from different places into different places? So much so that you cannot get to a community where it's just one tribe. So what do you think it is that, brings people together, joins them together in these different kinds of relationship and unions?
Well, you start from the nature of God.
Okay.
That God himself is a diverse.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
It's diverse in all the things he does. And bringing people together, no man is an island. There's a saying that variety is the spice of life. So when people come together, you have variety of things that you need to learn, to enjoy, to imbibe, to help you to even develop to a certain level, to broaden your horizon. That's what diversity helps to do. It's supposed to be a blessing, actually. when you meet with other people, when you learn their culture, you learn their tradition, you know the angle at which they are coming from when they have to take decisions or when they have to act, because people are wired to act differently. That's the way human beings are created. So this diversity in meeting each other and knowing each other is supposed to be a blessing to broaden your horizon and to make you, form that teamwork that can help you be able to achieve your either interpersonal goals or any other goal.
Okay, so when we have these fusions, because I know that people get married and they come together from different cultures and all that, but I still hear people say, oh mommy Ogbodogbe, sorry I'm speaking in Yoruba, oh mommy Ogbodogbe, this person simply saying my child must not bring home somebody from the other tribe. What is it exactly that you think brings up this affinity, this disgust, this craziness that we hear from our parents?
It's probably because of past experiences of some of our parents, some of the culture they have interrelated with, or some of the people that they have, if somebody hurts you, you are like generalizing, which is not nice, which is not right. The fact that you marry from your own tribe, your own culture, does not mean you will not have issues, as it were. So it's because of those past experiences, those negative ones, that has made people decide that, okay, I don't want this culture, I don't want this. But people should look at the individual. Like one of my lecturers used to say when I was in school, say you look at the individualism in the individual. But people should learn to look at the individual and rate the person the way the person presents themselves and not the culture, because people can act, and a Yoruba man can act like an Igbo man.
Yeah, true.
I am from Niger Delta, but I grew up in the West, and sometimes when I act, people think I'm Yoruba. So, but you need to, as much as possible, not judge people based on their culture, or based on their tradition, or based on their ethnic group, the ethnic group that they belong to.
Okay. Thank you so much. We're still speaking with Mrs. Angela Uponi, and my next question: as this diverse cultural traits, this diverse cultures, has it impacted our growth as a nation? Has it made us better?
Well, it is supposed to, but it hasn't. It has impacted in us, I would say, negatively. In the 60s, when I was born, in the 70s, I mean, you can relate with everybody. Then we had the former national anthem that says, "Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand." So that was how we were relating. Nobody saw Hausa as Hausa, nobody saw Igbo as Igbo. We just saw ourselves as brothers.
As Nigerians, as brothers.
But for some reason, something went wrong, and the ethnicity was taken into the political arena, and then it now becomes a case of I want to represent my people. I want my people to have a voice. I want my people to be part of the national cake, as it were. So it has not really helped us, so much, and people have taken it wrongly, and that is where the issue of extremists comes in. Even in religion, every religion preaches peace, they preach unity, and they preach love. The religion I come from preach love, and you see people, the extremists
saying it
from other direction, and they begin to, use it as a way of promoting their own personal interests.
So you're saying that as an individual, because we see ourselves first as the ethnic group that we come from, it has imbibed in us a selfish instinct.
Yes.
Okay, so we're a little bit more selfish, we're a little bit more concerned about ourselves, and individualism now comes into play. Okay, so I get that picture. Now, if this is the problem, because I'm trying to, if we can identify what the problems are, we're likely to be able to propose solutions that will work. Okay, so we still see that some people still do in an organization. I was talking to somebody, and the person said, in this bank, you have all of one tribe. He said maximum, if you have any other tribe in that bank, that you don't have more than 25%. Because the bank is owned by somebody from the other tribe. So it means that this actually impacts the workplace. Have you had any experience like that?
I have so many times. Sometimes, I've worked in an environment where, because I speak a lot of Yoruba,
people actually do not know where you come
and so
from.
when they want to group me
They will group
with the
you
Yoruba
back
people,
home.
they just group me and say Yoruba people. They forget that I'm
You're
from
not
Niger
from there.
Delta. So I sometimes have to remind them
That
that
I'm not.
I'm not. This is where
I
I'm
am
from.
from.
And I have an adage that I said I'm wired as a Niger Deltan, and I can speak as a Yoruba person. I am a detribalized Nigerian, by the way. So I've experienced that in the workplace, and then you see people even setting up an organization because they want their own people to be there. So they set up the organization, and when you enter there, if it's Hausa, you hear how do they Hausa? Zenu, all over the place. They greet you that is not even Hausa.
It's
If it's my tribe, you hear Ajay everywhere. Greeting. And it's. But I don't think that should be it.
So the language used in the workplace, as it were.
Yeah, sometimes.
So do you think it's a problem? Should we be using the native language? I mean the ethnic language. So for example, if say in a place you have 3 Yoruba people, 5 Igbo people, maybe say 2 Hausa people, and we still have our official language, which is English. What should we communicate in?
We should communicate in an official language where everybody understands, and that is English.
But you know that in a workplace, I know that
That's
people
in a
actually
workplace.
communicate. People actually communicate, in groups. They do their language thing on the corner. How does that impact even the growth of the organization? When people form, because it means they're forming factions
Yes.
in that organization.
Yes. When you form factions in an organization, you do not allow that organization grow. Because when you're supposed to focus on productivity and moving forward, and attaining the organizational goal and objective, you'll be there settling rancor. You'll be talking about, I want to say, it's time wasting. When people are supposed to focus on how they go forward and achieve their goals and succeed in it, you are busy settling disputes
here and
quarrels,
there.
and before you know what is happening, you have people rioting or closing doors and say this is what we want because they represent a particular ethnic group or a particular section. It's not ideal, and it's not nice. So it's better to relate with people on a language everybody understands. I have a lot of WhatsApp groups, and you see people even speaking a particular language
on the WhatsApp.
And then you don't.
You disconnect.
Yeah,
There's no communication.
I don't understand what you're saying. And when they say variety is the spice of life, doesn't mean that you should not carry people.
People along. Okay. We're still talking on our diversity. Is it a problem or a blessing? And the number to call to contribute on the show is 070-625-00247. 070-625-00247. That's the number to call. And still speaking with me in the studio this morning is Mrs. Angela Uboni. We're still talking on our diversity. My next question. People are clamoring for a breakup. Some people are saying, leave us alone, leave us with our resources, we can do so well with it. Some are saying, okay, we don't want to be part of you, you'll be marginalizing us and the rest of them. So who really loses if Nigeria does break up?
Everybody. Everybody loses. Because if you take each culture and each tradition, being Nigerians, we have imbibed each other's cultures. I mean, can you imagine a set of people eating the same type of food every day? And I mean, it's boring.
Sure.
It's boring.
Sure.
Or marrying in the same
tribe,
which means you want to marry the next door neighbor you have grown with all your life. You have already known them. You have already married them even before you
actually consummate the marriage.
The marriage, as it were. So everybody loses because we all have our different gifts and different distinct qualities, as it were. In the north, you have agriculture. In the west here, you have education. In the east, you have trade and all that. Bringing all this together helps to solidify us as a nation. So everybody loses. If one person goes, everybody loses.
And Nigeria now becomes broken down into small countries. So interestingly, I came across an article, and I think countries. Have you ever wondered why countries who are doing so well, they're not third world countries? They're actually very established economies, like Sweden. They have Switzerland. They have Austria. They have Singapore. They have Denmark, Belgium. They are very rich countries per capita. They have a lot of money. Their currencies are stable. But these countries are not superpowers. Have you ever wondered why?
Yeah, because there's a blessing in having a big population.
I think that's the key.
If you see these superpower countries, they are not small.
They are not
in terms of population.
In terms of population, no.
Nigeria is one of the most populous countries in Nigeria. If you look at the economies of scale of nations, Nigeria is one of the 20.
Yes, I think
as it were. It's because we are big. If you want to be a superpower, you have to be big.
You have to be big.
You have to be big. So Nigeria is a nation that you have to reckon with because of our population. And there was somebody that came, sometimes a man that was well traveled, Ron Kennedy, came and he said he has been to 110 countries
in the world.
And he in every 110 countries in the world, he has found a Nigerian. Even in Iceland.
Even in Iceland. So Nigerians are everywhere. So we're counting, when we count the population of Nigeria, we actually count the Nigerians that are currently in Nigeria. And we've been saying 178 million since about around the time I was born. So you're not thinking, so we're like eating 200 billion Nigerians in right now we have so many people everywhere, and then even in Iceland we have Nigerians. Oh, that's an interesting one there. Okay, so we're still talking about our diversity, and our guest says if we break apart as a nation, everybody loses. Okay, so if breaking apart is not definitely with all the problems that we're going through, breaking apart is definitely not a solution. It definitely is not a solution. How then do we ensure that everybody coexists together, in a very, very enjoyable manner, and everything works well? That's where your expertise comes in.
Okay. First and foremost, we must recognize the differences in our culture, in our way of life. When you recognize that difference in the way people behave, it helps you to learn and know the angle at which they are coming from. So you must understand that, and you must respect people's values. Respect their culture, respect their tradition. You don't want to just get into a place and impose yourself on them. You must learn and respect that their values, what they stand for.
Totally different from one another.
And then you must look at every Nigerian as a brother or a sister.
Not like my brother is one that speaks my language and all that.
The thing about these ethnic differences can also happen in families. As small as the family is, they have factions. This one says, this one gives me more money, and this one relates well with this one, and it doesn't relate well with the one that does not give more money, or all that. So we must, as much as possible, see ourselves as one, as brothers. That is how we can really coexist, and live in harmony. And if we do that, it helps us to move forward as a nation, and we actually, because a nation starts from the family, and it goes into community, and from the community it goes into a state, and all that, and it becomes a nation. So we need to start respecting people's opinions, respecting people's values, and know where they are coming from. We can't all be the same thing, as it were. So
Okay, so that's the much we're going to take. We're expecting so many phone calls, and I'm sure that our people are trying to call, but the phone seem this morning to be having a lot of issues. Okay, so we're going to move into the next session, but before we go, I'm going to take a last word from our guest, and after that last word, then we'll take that song again from Moye Kowe, and we're going to the next segment of the show. Last words, ma'am.
I believe in that national anthem. Nigeria,
we hail thee, our own native land. Don't try but
That's the phrase
in brotherhood we stand.
You know, because in brotherhood that we stand, we are proud to serve. Every ethnic group should, as much as possible, embrace other ethnic groups. The issue of Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba has made other ethnic groups feel that they feel marginalized, that they don't fit into. So we need to see ourselves as brothers, as one, and we need to remove ethnicity out of all this, because if we don't, what we end up doing is not to grow as a nation. So we need to remove that. We need to see ourselves as one. We need to see the individualism in the individual and relate with the people as such.
Okay, thank you so much. That's the last word from our guest this morning. And we were talking about diversity as a nation. Is it a blessing or a problem? And we've been able to establish that it is totally a blessing. Okay, so we're going to take this short break. We'll take that song from Moye Kowe again. And when we come back, we'll go straight into the next segment. Please stay tuned.
Nigeria, on my mind, I pledge to you my loyalty, my love, my ability.
Ooh, and as we celebrate ourselves, we shall be dedicated.
To serve a new Nigeria, for a better land for all. Here we are, standing tall through adversities. We are one. 100 years, unity, Nigeria.